6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yokaraj for C Headlines. The President says that he is ready to start talks with all political leaders, including the opposition, with regard to the agreements having with IMF. The world celebrates International Women's Day today. The President says Sri Lankan women are making significant strides for the economy today. Digital train schedule screen is installed at Fort Railway Station. The Hindus around the world celebrate Mahasivaratri Day today. Temperatures reach caution level in 10 districts. IMF's second review of Sri Lanka's bailout package begins. News overseas, Hamas delegation leaves Gaza truce talks in Cairo without deal. In sports, St. Thomas's opener Sadev Souza made a superb knock of 83 on day one of the first day of the 145th Battle of the Blues. And those are the headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is ready to start talks with all political leaders, including the opposition, with regard to the agreements having with the IMF. Accordingly, he expects to meet them on Monday to entertain views and proposals regarding the IMF debt restructuring process. A final decision is scheduled to be presented to the representatives of IMF. The President made these remarks at the Nelumpokna Theatre in launching ceremony of a Press versus Press book yesterday. Speaking on this occasion, the President emphasized the importance of such publications in a democratic society, noting that they reflect the freedom and diversity of opinions that exist within the country. President Wickremesinghe highlighted that in a state, such works would never come in fruition or underscoring the significance of the established freedom of expression. The book provides insights into how newspaper cartoonists portrayed President Ranil Wickremesinghe's unique role in steering the country through economic turmoil. 40 cartoonists and around 20 journalists have contributed their work to this compilation. The contribution of the cartoonists and television anchors who presented these cartoons on TV were also recognized at this ceremony. The world celebrates International Women's Day today. March 8th is the day set apart to recognize the cultural, political, social and economic achievements made by women. It also serves as an opportunity to inspire efforts to end gender bias and discrimination and achieve gender equality. Receiving a message, President Ranil Wickremesinghe said, Sri Lankan women are making significant strides in the nation's economy today. They leverage their expertise, skills and professionalism to exceed conventional boundaries. Their multifaceted roles within families and society are a source of pride for our nation. The government is actively engaged in amplifying the role of women in propelling sustainable development forward. A special focus is directed towards empowering women entrepreneurs in sectors such as the digital and green economies. He further said the government's commitment to World's Women's Day extends beyond mere symbolism, as evidenced by comprehensive measures aimed at safeguarding the dignity and safety of women. These initiatives include the formulation of new policies and regulations, including a groundbreaking national gender policy designed to combat discrimination against women. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says the women in Sri Lanka society always held a unique position. She was the pride of the nation, and on past occasions she has ruled the nation and took leadership in politics and in many other spheres in society. The woman who acts steadfastly in the face of crisis in the strength of family, society and country. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
At People's Bank, we empower your pride. People's Bank, pride of the nation.
Transport, Highways and Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena yesterday commissioned new digital customer information screen to display information about train arrival and departure times, delays, platform numbers, route maps and service disruptions for the benefit of the commuters at the Colombo Fort railway station premises yesterday. Accordingly, commuters are informed about the train schedules by two main digital screens which are visible to the passengers outside the station have been set up near the main entrance of the station. Today, the Hindus around the world celebrate Mahasivaratri Day in reverence of the god Shiva. The Mahashivaratri festival is celebrated with devotion and religious fervor in honor of Lord Shiva, one of the deities of the Hindu Trinity. Mahasivaratri is observed to mark a remembrance of overcoming darkness and ignorance in life and the world. Unlike most festivals, it is celebrated at night. Issuing a message, President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he wishes to illuminate the lives of Sri Lankan people with the blessings of Mahasivaratri Day. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that the unity created by the Mahasivaratri festival should be utilized to steer the country towards peace and prosperity. The Met Department has issued a heat index advisory for today for the north-western and southern provinces and Ratnapura, Anuradhapura, Mana, Vavuniya and Mullaitivu districts. Heat index, the temperature felt on the human body, is expected to increase up to caution level at some places in north-western and southern provinces and in Ratnapura, Anuradhapura, Mana, Vavuniya and Mullaitivu districts. As per the advisory, under the level of temperature, fatigue is possible with prolonged exposure and activity, while continuing activity could result in heat cramps, the department warned. Thus, members of the public have been advised to stay hydrated, take breaks in the shade as often as possible and limit strenuous outdoor activities. And that is local news.
Right decisions with noble intentions bring pride to you and the nation. At People's Bank, we empower your pride. People's Bank, pride of the nation.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
The International Monetary Fund commenced its second review of the extended fund facility program for Sri Lanka yesterday with an opening meeting scheduled with President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Finance State Minister Shayan Semasinga said this marks a crucial milestone in the ongoing efforts by the government to enhance stability and economic growth. The minister said the government aims to conclude a successful review and reach the staff-level agreement, which will help unlock the third tranche of global leaders' bailout package of $2.9 billion. Sri Lanka received the first tranche of the loan in March 2023 after the executive board approved the 48-month EFF program.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Railway Department has assigned special train services on the main line and the northern line to facilitate the movements of the commuters during this long weekend. They said one train is scheduled to leave for Badulla from Colombo Fort at 7:30 a.m. today. On the 10th of March, a train is scheduled to leave for Colombo Fort from Badulla at 7:45 a.m. Another train journey will operate from Colombo Fort to Badulla at 7:30 p.m. today and on Sunday.
Coming up, World News.
Hamas delegation leaves Gaza truce talks in Cairo without deal. 3 killed in Houthi missile attack on cargo ship in Gulf of Aden. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits Indian-administered Kashmir before elections. And those are the headlines. A Hamas delegation has left talks in Cairo without a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza, but the armed group says indirect negotiations with Israel are not over. It had been hoped that a 40-day truce could be in place for the start of the Islamic month of Ramadan next week. With more signs of famine looming, international pressure has only grown. But Egyptian and Qatari mediators have struggled to seal a deal that would see Hamas free Israel hostages in exchange. A missile attack of Yemen's Houthi rebels on a commercial ship in the Gulf of Aden on Wednesday killed 3 of its crew members and forced survivors to abandon the vessel, the U.S. military said. It was the first fatal strike in a campaign of assaults by the Iranian-backed group over Israel's war on Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The attack on the Barbados-flagged Liberian-owned bulk carrier, True Confidence further escalates the conflict on a crucial maritime route linking Asia and the Middle East to Europe. Indian-administered Kashmir has been transformed economically since it was stripped of its semi-autonomous status, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said. Security was tight for his first trip to the Muslim-majority region since he made the controversial change in 2019. He told the rally in Srinagar that he is working hard to win their hearts. And that's world news. Development news. The Coconut Cultivation Board has prepared a program to expand king coconut cultivation countrywide. Accordingly, 86 villages have been selected suitable for king coconut cultivation. These villages have been selected after examining the suitableness for king coconut production. A huge demand for king coconut in our country has been created in the international market, and Sri Lanka has the monopoly on king coconut in the international market.
Moving on with sports news.
St. Thomas's opener Sadev Soiza made a superb knock of 83 in 134 balls, while Royal skipper Sine Jayawardene and deputy skipper Ramiro Pereira took 4 wickets each, which were the highlights on day 1 of the 145th Battle of the Blues played at SSC Cricket Ground yesterday. Royal won the toss and chose to field first. Thomins went 297 all out in their first innings, and 2 umpires, Chamaru Soiza and Chandrika Amanu Singh, called off play with 1.4 overs to spare. And that's sports news.
Go ekakthiyana youth කට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Staff of the head office of Selico Life and their families took a shocking 732 kilograms of harmful pollutants and trash off a stretch of beach at Mattakulia recently at a beach cleanup organized by the company's Green Club. The initiative was supported by the non-governmental organization Clean Ocean Force, which undertook the responsible disposal of the collected items, which included plastic containers, polythene, rubber, glass, regiform, and mixed trash.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekakthiyana youth කට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, the recently signed Sri Lanka-Thailand Free Trade Agreement could increase Sri Lanka's exports by 38% through tariff elimination. This was opined by research fellow Institute of Policy Studies Dr. Asanka Vijayasinghe via research findings from the IPS at a knowledge session organized by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce on the SLTFTA and its impact on Sri Lanka's economic growth. He emphasized the importance of Sri Lanka focusing on manufacturing, apparel, rubber products and food products under FTAs, as these sectors have high tariffs in Thailand, offering significant export potential. Weather report. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in Galle, Mathura districts in the evening or night. Mainly dry weather will prevail in the other areas of the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Galle and Matara districts during the morning hours too. And that was the weather report. To wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The President says that he is ready to start talks with all political leaders, including the opposition, with regard to the agreements having with the IMF. The world celebrates International Women's Day today. The President says Sri Lankan women are making significant strides for the economy today. Digital train schedule screen is installed at Fort Railway Station. The Hindus around the world celebrate Mahasivaratri Day today. Temperatures reach caution level in 10 districts. IMF second review of Sri Lanka's bailout package begins. News overseas, Hamas delegation leaves Gaza truce talks in Cairo without deal. In sports, St. Thomas's opener Sadev Soiza made a superb knock of 83 on day 1 of the first day of the 145th Battle of the Blues. With that, we conclude this morning news podcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.